and good evening, night travelers. Welcome to the Quiet Hour, where we learn from mistakes before they cost us everything. If you're new, subscribe and learn with us. Tonight, I want to tell you about Marcus, a text message he should have questioned, and to lessons he learned the hardest way possible by ignoring them until it was too late. Marcus was 36, a software developer in Seattle, recently divorced, trying to rebuild. He'd always prided himself on seeing the best in people, on trusting, on giving second chances. His ex-wife used to say he was too naive, too willing to believe everyone's story. Marcus thought she was just cynical. Then came the LinkedIn message from someone named Jennifer Park, claiming to be a recruiter for a crypto investment firm. The opportunity sounded incredible: early employee at a startup, stock options, remote work, $180,000 base salary. Everything Marcus needed to get back on his feet after the divorce had drained his savings. Jennifer was persuasive. Professional website, polished pitch deck. She even did 3 video calls. Though Marcus noticed her camera quality was surprisingly poor for someone at a tech company. IT issues, she'd said. You know how it is. The offer came with one condition. He needed to cover his own background check and initial security clearance, $3,500 upfront, reimbursed with his first paycheck. Company policy for remote hires, Jennifer explained. I know it's unusual, but I promise it's legitimate. I wouldn't steer you wrong. Marcus's best friend David asked the obvious question. Why would a legit company make employees pay for their own background check? But Marcus wanted it to be real so badly. The salary would change everything. Jennifer went silent after that. The company website disappeared. The phone number disconnected. Marcus had been scammed. Sitting in his studio apartment, staring at his bank account with $247 left, Marcus felt the shame burn through him. How could he have been so stupid? David had warned him. His sister had said it sounded fishy. Even Marcus's own gut had whispered doubts he'd chosen to ignore. He called David, voice cracking. I lost it all. The $3,000 I had left. I'm such an idiot. David drove over immediately. They sat on Marcus's couch, and David said something that cut deeper than the financial loss. Marcus, this isn't the first time. Remember Todd? Todd, Marcus's old business partner who'd borrowed $15,000 for inventory that never materialized. Marcus had believed every excuse until Todd disappeared. And remember Kristin? David continued. Your girlfriend who needed help with her medical bills, that one hurt. Kristin had borrowed $5, $0, then ghosted him. Marcus had spent weeks believing she'd been in an accident, something terrible, until he saw her Instagram posts from Cabo. I keep thinking people are good, Marcus whispered. I keep wanting to believe. And that's beautiful, David said. But Marcus, you don't verify anything. You just believe. And then when it falls apart, you spiral. You've been depressed for 3 weeks about this job thing. You're still talking about Todd, and that was 2 years ago. Marcus felt something crack open. What am I supposed to do? David pulled out his phone and showed Marcus the screenshots. He de-saved lessons from something his therapist had given him. 1. Trust, but verify. Don't believe without proof. Ask questions. Do research. Listen to that voice that says, wait, this doesn't add up. 2. When something bad happens, learn from it and move forward. Don't sit in the loss. Don't let regret paralyze you. Marcus stared at those words and suddenly remembered every warning sign he'd ignored. Jennifer's poor camera quality, the weird payment request, the too good to be true salary, his own gut feelings he'd dismissed because he'd wanted it to be real. I ignored every red flag, Marcus said, and now I'm sitting here 3 weeks later, still destroyed by it. I'm doing both things wrong. I believe everything, then I regret everything. So what changes today? David asked. That question changed everything. Marcus couldn't get the $3,500 back. He couldn't undo Todd or Kristin, but he could stop the pattern. Over the next months, Marcus rebuilt differently. When opportunities came, he researched. He asked questions. He listened to his gut. When a too-good-to-be-true freelance gig appeared, He spent 2 hours verifying the company before responding. It was real, and he took it. When another seemed sketchy, he walked away, even though he needed the money. And when he made mistakes because he still did, he stopped letting regret eat him alive. Lost $200 on a bad investment? Learn what went wrong, adjust strategy, move on. Trusted someone he shouldn't have? Note the pattern, set better boundaries, don't spend weeks in shame. 6 months later, Marcus had rebuilt his savings. More importantly, he'd rebuilt his judgment. He could trust people without being naive. He could learn from losses without drowning in regret. Friends, how many of you are Marcus? You believe everyone's story because you want to see the best in people. You ignore red flags because you want things to work out. And then, when it inevitably falls apart, you sit in that loss for weeks, months, years, letting regret poison your present. Here's what Marcus learned. Trust and verify aren't opposites. They're partners. You can believe in people's goodness while still doing your due diligence. You can give people chances while still protecting yourself. And when things go wrong, because they will, you can acknowledge the loss, extract the lesson, and keep moving. Regret that teaches you is wisdom. Regret that paralyzes you is prison. That's our truth tonight at the Quiet Hour. What are you believing without verification? What loss are you still sitting in instead of learning from? Comment below. Subscribe as we keep learning to trust wisely and move forward freely. Until tomorrow, remember, verify before you trust and learn before you regret. Both lessons will save you from losing what matters most. Sleep well, drive safely, and tomorrow maybe ask one more question before you believe. Good night. Friends.